for that introduction. I come to you with great alacrity to get my first speech out there so that I can break the ice and be more comfortable. I joined Toastmasters because I found that in my career as an accountant, I never had to exercise the public speaking muscle. So now, as a controller in a fast-growing insurance company with a very extroverted CFO that I'm reporting to, I found that I need these skills now, or last year, so I'm here to get those. For this speech, I thought I would integrate a little bit of accounting mixed with who I am by presenting myself through a fictional company that I made up called Kris LLC. I hope you like it. This is a story about a partnership that was formed back in February 14, 2002 with my husband/partner, whose name is also Kris, hence the name Kris Squared. We are a privately held, family-run business. We're based out of California, and we offer accounting services, and my husband Kris is sales, and he's also the office handyman. There isn't much around the office he can't do as far as installing and repairing. I thought the best way to present Kris Squared would be to go over our balance sheet. And along the way, I can teach you a little bit about what a balance sheet is if you don't already know what it is. So what is a balance sheet, you may ask? A balance sheet is a financial statement that gives a snapshot of a company's assets, liabilities, and equity. Essentially, your assets always have to equal your liabilities plus your equity, or else you're out of balance. Let's start out by going over some of Kris Squared's primary assets. As a definition of an asset is something your company owns that could give future benefits. And as a disclaimer, you won't find a live human being listed as an asset, but we're in Kris Squared, so. The Kylie asset is the primary asset. She's a 7th grader. She is essentially a well-rounded asset in that she's a pianist. She runs in cross country. She writes for the school newspaper, and currently she's at straight A's. We'll see what happens. She is listed on the balance sheet with an 80-year useful life. She's got 12 years on the book, straight line depreciation, and she aspires to be the future company lawyer, which I'll bring that back up when we get to liabilities. Additional assets on Kris Squared are Belle, Mia, and Schneider. Belle being in the forefront. If you recall, last week she's the one with personal space issues. And then we have Mia in the back, who's the white one, and the character on the left is Schneider, who causes a lot of trouble around the office. These assets have a 10 to 15-year useful life, and they keep the employees fit and active. Next, we have the company vote. We believe at Kris Squared in investing in team building activities, and we hold all of our meetings as weather permits out on the company vote with our employees and shareholders at every opportunity. All right, so now we get to move on to liabilities. A liability is defined as a company's financial debts or obligations that arise during the course of business operations. These are loans, accounts payable, mortgages, deferred rent, and accrued expenses. Let's go over a few of Kris Squared's main liabilities. Currently we have on the books an accrued expense that is growing by the day. As I mentioned prior, the Kylie asset aspires to be a lawyer, so the college education accrual is one of the primary liabilities at this point. The other liability that we've got on the books is the annual reward event. The company accrues annually. We're scheduled, by the way, that's not me. I just noticed that we're scheduled to be for a trip to Hawaii by the end of fiscal year 2018 if the budget is met and all other goals are met. That brings us to the equity section. Equity is a portion of the balance sheet consisting of stock, paid in capital, shareholders' equity, and retained earnings. Here at Kris Squared, we will focus on the shareholders for now, and there's 4 primary shareholders. first shareholder is my father-in-law, John Quam, coming to us with over 50 years of professional musical experience. He spends many hours behind the keyboard with Kylie, and they make beautiful music together. The next primary shareholder is Frank Fenton, also my father-in-law. He comes to us with a good background also in facilities and helps with projects around the office. And he subsidizes Kris Squared with iPads, candy, more specifically chocolate. Carol Fenton is a third primary shareholder, and she invests heavily in the arts and comes to us with gardening, knitting, and drawing. She's my mother-in-law. Last but not least is Connie Ekowitz, my mother, who is all things entertainment. She keeps our schedules full and fun, and she focuses on the Kylie asset. So all in all, this is who I am. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and a daughter, and I have a flair for accounting, and that's it.